Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly Climate Dispatch. Johanna Miller of the Vermont Natural Resources Council, my colleague Lauren Hurl from Vermont Conservation Voters and I are joined by Senator Ann Watson of Washington County, my senator, Vice Chair of Senate Natural Resources and Energy, and this has been a big week for energy and climate issues, and with Senator Watson's leadership joining many of her colleagues this week, many of the sponsors of the Make Big Oil Pay initiative, the Climate Superfund Act, gathered for a press event in the Cedar Creek room and announced that they are introducing this important policy to hold some of the biggest fossil fuel polluters accountable for the damage that their products have caused. 20 senators out of 30 have sponsored this important policy. 87 House members have sponsored it. This is a really important policy that Vermont is advancing to hold big oil accountable and help us pay for the cost of the severe damages that are happening because of climate change. It's also been a big week for the Renewable Energy Standard and efforts underway to continue to look at resilience and adaptation strategies. So Senator Watson is a true leader on these things. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to, and thank you so much for your leadership.
Yeah, I was really proud to be one of the lead sponsors of the Climate Superfund Act, which, like after the flooding that happened this summer, of course my heart broke for the people that were personally impacted by it. But as a former mayor, I just saw a lot of dollar signs. And so just knowing that this was going to be incredibly expensive for everybody involved, for our communities, for individuals, for residents, for businesses. And so the Make Big Oil Pay Bill, or the Climate Superfund Act, is going to be one way that we can hopefully get some of that, some funding to help support the recovery that we are going to need to fund moving forward because of climate change. So that's a really exciting bill that I'm excited to continue to work on. And then in Natural Resources Energy, we are working on a climate resilience bill about wetlands, river corridors, as well as dam safety. So all of those things we know are important for a resilient environment in a changing climate. We know we're going to see more precipitation, and so being ready to store more water in floodplains to get structures, or I should say prevent structures from being built in flood-prone areas. That's going to be really important.
Yep.
And our dams are really, they're also in crisis right now.
Yep.
And so we need to be better supporting dam repair as well as removal. And so this bill looks at doing all of that.
Well, that's great. This is really important work. I definitely have to mention that Senator Watson received the VCV Environmental Rising Star Award at a recent event. So congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
Well deserved, given to a freshman legislator that's already shown amazing leadership. Senator Watson just got called away, as happens a lot at the State House, but we did not want to leave you this week without a call to action, as we always like to end our climate dispatch. So this week, given the great response and numerous co-sponsors for the Make Big Oil Pay legislation, we just recommend that you reach out and thank your legislators for both House and Senate for co-sponsoring that. We'll put links so you can check if they did in fact co-sponsor and thank them, or if they didn't, urge them to support it. And we'll be back with you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.